So we're gonna be doing a ready? You ready, Cat? Is that your map?
Yeah, I am. Do you want this one? You can decide over here which one you want. You can have whatever one you want. Which one do you want? Whatever makes you happy.
You choose.
I choose. Alright guys, we're going to do a full body stretch. And we're going to work our way basically from our feet all the way up to our heads. Okay, so first what we're going to do, okay, just get the feet moving. Okay, doing some circles. Okay, especially with all the lunges, squats. Okay, it's very important we have ankle mobility. Okay, so circles, point them as far as you can forwards. And you should feel that in the front of your calves. Do you feel that in the front there? Yeah, good. Okay, back towards you. Try to keep the heels on the ground. And again, little circles if you can. Awesome. Alright, bring one leg in. Okay, we're going to work on the hamstrings. Okay, very important guys, keep your shoulders back. Okay, try to lean your chest more towards your toe. Okay, reaching for the toe. If you can't touch the toe, that's fine. Okay, try to just hold at the shin. Okay, it's important you keep the knee on the ground. So pull your leg out easily. Perfect. Awesome. So we're going to hold each stretch for about 20 seconds or so. Okay, I did post a bunch of lower body stretches for you guys to do at home. Okay, feel free to do them a little longer than 20 seconds. Awesome, let's switch legs. Okay, knee on the ground. Again, try to keep nice and straight. Chest up.
Make sure your foot's not under your legs.
Make sure your foot's not under your other leg and make sure the knee's right against the ground, right? Good. It's important to breathe through this too, right? Deep breaths. Try to relax as much as possible. All right. Next one, we're gonna go into the quads. Okay, bring one leg behind you. Okay, you should feel this in the front here. Feel nothing. That's because you're flexible. And if you want to add a little bit more, you can try to go down to that back elbow. And just keep that knee on the ground as much as possible. You'll feel that stretch in the quad more. And then if you want to add a little bit more from there, you can go down to the ground. That adds a bit more into the quad too as well. And coming back up. We'll switch legs. Yeah, that's good. So you should feel it. Okay, so again, keeping that knee on the ground. And as much as possible. Awesome. Good. Okay, coming back up, shaking the legs, shaking the legs. Perfect. Good. Okay, we're gonna cross one over now. Crossing one over. Slide over towards you, Kinsey. And cross one leg over. Okay, you want to make sure that when you do this one, okay, you go the opposite side of where you cross the leg. Okay, try to pull this knee across so you can feel this outside hip here. Okay, do your best to try and get this hand down to the ground. If you can't, that's fine. Okay, the more important part is to try and pull this across so you feel this outside hip. And if you can too, like I said, try to put the hand down. It helps work on that thoracic spine mobility too as well. Okay, with the hips. sleeping. You're such a crazy sleeper. Okay, switch legs. And again, planting this leg on the floor. And crossing opposite hand from the leg you crossed. Pulling this knee across. Trying to get that stretch in the hip. And if you can, try to get this hand to the floor. This playlist is fire. Nothing like a little country on Sunday morning, right? What do you always tell Alexa to play?
Black Betty.
Black Betty. What else besides Black Betty? Country music. You're a country fan, aren't you?
My mom is
Awesome.
country too.
Okay, coming back together. Okay, we're gonna cross one leg now. Okay, keep this foot on the floor. Okay, a lot of people want to try to bring this leg up. That is a good stretch, but if you lack a little bit of mobility in the hips, okay, this is a little bit better one. Okay, you're gonna take the knee with your hands. Okay, keep this foot planted on the floor, and you're gonna pull up towards your chest, and then try to go to opposite shoulder a little bit. Okay, make sure your hips are staying on the floor. Okay, as you're doing it, that's how you'll feel a bit more of a stretch. Okay, inside the hip. So try to keep this hip down and try to get the stretch through here. So the more you pull up, okay, opposite knee to shoulder, get that leg across. Keep that other leg down on the floor. Like I said, that helps keep the hips down. Okay, it gets that more stretch across the glute here. Okay, let's switch legs. So keep that foot on the floor. This leg goes across. And make sure it's supported on your ankle and not your foot, so you don't have any weird positions in the ankle when you're doing this. And then you're gonna come up, cross over, grab that knee. Hold. There we go. Okay, try deep press. Keep the hips on the floor, foot on the floor, and pull that leg across there. If you're feeling this inside your hip as you're doing this, try to apply a little bit of pressure down on the knee. Okay, that'll push your hips more against the floor, and that should help get a little bit more of the stretch as you pull up. Awesome. Okay, we're gonna flip back around. Okay, still working on our glutes. Okay, I'm a big fan of making sure we have hip mobility. Okay, especially those of us that sit throughout the day at desks or have to commute a lot. Okay, glutes get locked up, they get very sleepy, which makes them inactive. Okay, so what happens is muscle will come together, basically like beef jerky, okay, and it basically stays there. And if it doesn't have the elasticity to be able to contract, okay, and come back out, then basically it becomes inactive, and other muscles try to gain that mobility. Okay, so the three big glute muscles in our body are the biggest muscles we have. Okay, so we should spend a little bit more time stretching those out than anything else. So this is also another good one, the pigeon stretch. Okay, you go more. What's that, sir?
Pigeon?
Pigeon, yeah, like a bird. Pigeon. Okay, so crossing this leg in front. Again, I'm gonna give a couple of variations. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you can bring this leg up as much as possible, and you wanna try to sink back into that glute, into here, especially those of us that feel our low backs. Okay, a lot of us, when we feel it up in this area here, okay, it's actually where our big glute muscle attaches into in the top of our hips. So like I'm saying, if your glutes are tight, your back will try to compensate. So do your very best, okay, to try and sink into that glute. Okay, as you're pushing out into that glute, kind of pull that hand the opposite way, and you'll feel it a little bit more coming up into that hip, low back area like I was saying. Also key to keep that other hip bone down to the floor. Try not to rotate out. Okay, try to stay square to the floor as much as possible. And switch legs. Slide back a little bit for me. show you guys a side view. Okay, so again, we want to try to stay as square as possible to the floor, not rotating out, so that way I'll get into this glute. And then I want to try to push back into that hip, getting that stretch there, and then I can add more by putting my hands the other way. Okay, if you can't go down that far, that's fine. Just try to sit in this position as much as possible. Getting that stretch in that outside hip there, that glute. Good. Alright guys, coming up to your knees next. Just mat here. Okay, we're gonna go into the front of the hips now. We're gonna work our hip flexors. So with this one, okay, you almost want to exaggerate that lunge. So doing the opposite of what I tell you when you actually do a lunge. Okay, you don't want the knee in line with your hip. Okay, you do want it more behind your body, and that's how you do get the stretch in the front of your hip. Okay, as much as possible. Again, trying to stay square. If you want to add a little bit more, you can raise this hand, get it as high as you can. And then if you add a little bit of a lean back and over to the side, you'll feel it come up into the side openings here a little bit as well, down to the hip flexors. Deep breaths for this one. Awesome. Let's switch legs. Which one are you doing? Going into the lunge. Yep. Arm back. This side. There you go. If you can with your balance, and you can add grabbing this leg in the back here. Slide back a tiny bit for me. Just go so I can show everyone. Okay, grabbing this back leg here. Again, you'll feel it more up into the hip. Okay, if you got the balance to do so. You can also hold on to something for support. Keep following. All right, next one. Okay, we're gonna go into a wide position here. Okay, knees on the ground. And you want to make sure too that your knees are in line with your heels. Okay, this is a bit of a tough one for me. Played a lot of hockey growing up. Okay, pushing your bum back towards your heels. You're gonna feel this inside your groin. Deep breaths through this one. Perfect. All right. Okay, coming forwards. Okay, bringing the legs out as far as you can. Shuffle forwards for me. There you go. Okay, legs out as far as you can. And reach to one toe. Can't reach the toe, just hold the inside of the leg. Okay, and then from there, okay, try to lean forward a little bit, find a spot on the floor and hold that spot. Do not bob this one. Do not push forward and go back and forth. Okay, go gentle into it, nice and slow. Find a spot on the floor and hold. Awesome. Perfect. All right. Okay, working our way up. Okay, we're gonna work on some spine mobility here a little bit. Okay, so tucking your knees up. Okay, your knees should be in line with your hips. Okay, you don't want them down, you want them up in line with your hips. Okay, if you see me sideways, okay, my knees in line with hips here. Okay, this hand's gonna be out in front of you, like this here. Okay, the key is to keep this hip forwards. We're gonna open up. So as we open up, you'll feel this more, okay, in the thoracic spine. The low back lumbar spine does not twist, and that's why we're trying to keep the hips forwards as much as possible, because if we do not have the twisting movement in our thoracic spine or mobility, again, when you go to try and do that movement, if you don't have it in the mid-back, your low back will try to gain that, and that's where you can get a low back injury. Okay, so what you're gonna do is keep the knees forward, hips forward, and very gentle. Okay, you're gonna open up, follow with your eyes, with your hands, and as much as possible, just opening up and holding. Okay, again, following with your eyes. Okay, coming back forwards. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Okay, so coming back open, big exhale. Keep those knees together and on the floor, hips are forwards. Try to get a little bit more mobility than last time. You might even feel this in the top of your shoulder if you're tight in your shoulders as you open up. Okay, back and close. Okay, coming back up, open it up. Awesome. Hold for a second. Good. Okay, now you're just gonna roll over, doing the other side. Okay, knees up. Hand on your shoulder, opening up. Coming back forwards. Okay, open up. Awesome, back forwards. We're gonna do that one more time. Opening up here, big exhale. Try to hold for a second or 2. Good, and back forwards. Awesome. Okay, going on to our knees next. Going up to our knees. All right. Okay, so we're gonna bring our hips back towards our heels. Okay, you're gonna reach forwards. Okay, as you're reaching forwards, hold that spot on the floor. Push the bum back towards your heels. From here, you're gonna open one palm up, okay, as much as possible, thumb to the ceiling, and you're gonna lean to that side. You're gonna feel this a little bit more underneath your shoulders and your lats. Okay, if you put this hand behind your back, you might feel it a little bit more. Again, feeling it underneath that shoulder blade. Awesome. Okay, going over to the other side. Same idea, palm up, thumb up. Rotating down. Sinking that bum back, keeping that position on the floor with your hand. You'll feel that come down the shoulder blade there underneath the shoulder. Perfect. Okay, coming up, just doing some circles here. Okay, moving the shoulders for a second. Okay, go back down to the floor. You're gonna cross one now underneath. Okay, as you cross one underneath, the other one's gonna slide forwards. Okay, the other one reaches forwards, the other hand goes out. Okay, try to get that shoulder to the floor. Okay, stay square, do not twist out. Okay, switching hands. Again, this one goes forwards. Okay, this one goes out. Try to relax your shoulders down, make sure they're not up around your ears. Okay, try to keep them relaxed as much as you're stretching, deep breath. Perfect. All right, coming on to our bumps. Put it on your side. On your shoulders. All right. Okay, we're gonna cross our arm here. Same kind of position. Again, try to relax the shoulder down. Okay, open up, open up. Good, across. Make sure you're locking behind the elbow, not in front of the elbow. Behind the elbow, pull across. Again, keep it down. Okay, next one, triceps, down the back. Okay, try to bring the hand down the back as much as possible. And then apply pressure on the elbow, feeling it down. Tricep here. Okay, switch arms. It's called stretching. All right, perfect. Shake them out. Good. Okay, I got a couple more for you. Okay, we're gonna start with our neck rolls. Okay, we're gonna get some stretching in the neck here. Okay, so what we're gonna start with, it's very important, okay, that we always keep good posture as we're doing this. Okay, so I like to put my hands behind me. Okay, that way it sets my shoulder blades back, okay, rather than rounding them forwards. Okay, so try to keep that chest open. From here, what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring one ear down to shoulder. Okay, notice my shoulders are staying level, hands are staying flat on the floor. You should be feeling this stretch here. And you can play with this a little bit. Okay, by bringing the neck, chin more forwards, more back, depending on where you're tightening those neck muscles there. And you're gonna go over to the other side. Same idea, ear to shoulder. Again, play with it. You can drop the chin a little bit or you can bring the chin back, depending on where you're tight. Awesome. Coming back to neutral. And again, hands flat on the floor. Bring your chin. Okay, try to keep your chest down as you point your chin up. There are a lot of muscles inside the throat area here, okay, neck area, that helps, or gets very tight, especially if you cough or you get sick or something like that. Okay, or just you're yelling at your kids or your husband or wife, one of the two. Hopefully you're not yelling. Okay, from here what you're gonna do, okay, is setting those shoulders back, chin up. Perfect. All right, now we're gonna go down the back of our head. Okay, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take basically like an L shape, okay, with your thumb, and your finger, and you're gonna bring your chin down to your chest. Apply a little bit of pressure at the back of your head, bringing the chin to the chest, and you'll feel this stretch down the back of your head. Okay, nice and gentle. Perfect. All right, coming back up. Shoulders are coming back, hands on the floor. Starting from one ear and shoulder, going to other ear and shoulder. Try to work on all those muscles we were just stretching. Chin along the chest as you roll. Coming back down. Good. Now you're going to go along the back of your neck, okay, and traps. So looking more up, going ear to shoulder, rolling the back of your head, along the back of your traps and shoulders, getting chin to the ceiling as much as possible as you come around. Perfect. Awesome. All right, so I got 3 more for you, okay, and then I'll let you go. Okay, we're gonna go into our chest, okay, and biceps. Okay, but we'll start with our abs. Okay, so basically you're gonna come down to the floor, flip it back over. Okay, we're gonna push our hips to the floor, opening that chest, opening that chin like we just worked on. Now you should feel this a little bit more in the abdomen. Now that we've stretched out the neck here, and the hips, and shoulders. Okay, deep breaths. Okay, again, try to keep the hips down to the floor, chest up, get that stretch down into the abdomen as much as possible. Retracting shoulders back, so not going forward, it's rolling back. Perfect. All right. Okay, you can stay seated on the floor if you have something like a coffee table or a couch behind you. We're just gonna do the chest stretch. Okay, me and Kinsley are gonna do it on the wall here. Okay, so basically we'll shuffle our mats back. Okay, so you can also stand up and do this. Okay, but more or less, you wanna try to stay forwards, reaching behind you. Okay, pushing that shoulder forwards, getting that stretch into the chest. The higher you go, the more you'll feel it come down into the chest muscles. The lower you go, you'll feel it more into the bicep. You can also rotate into the wall. You can feel it into the bicep a bit more, so back your hand against the wall. Feel it come up your bicep, as long as your shoulder height. Okay, going to the other side. Again, hand up on the wall. Rotating this shoulder down, forwards, as that hand stays planted. Okay, so you're trying to open this up as much as possible. And like I said, the more you bring it down, rotate in, you'll feel it more inside the bicep. Awesome. That's all we got. That's a good one for you guys, just for good full body stretch. Okay, like I said, toe all the way to head, basically. Okay, getting all the main key muscle groups. Hey, hope you guys enjoyed that one.